Welcome everyone back to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be continuing our discussion on data visualization topics, and we're going to get started with geometric objects. Okay, and so now let's follow up with using our geoms. Now we'll start out with our basic plot here. So let's do ggplot, and we want MPG. Grab our aesthetic mappings. X is going to be our displacement again. Y is going to be our highway miles per gallon. And we're going to add in our geom point layer. And we see here that this gives us our standard scatter plot with black points. Now if we want to, we can look at geom smooth. And this is going to give us our trend line. But again, we can see here that this method is going to assume that we're using the loss method, and you can look in the documentation and see a variety of other methods that you can use. And again, this is looking at the interaction between X and Y. Now we also see that there's this blue line. This is our trend line, okay, or our loss from our loss function, and then we also have these shaded regions, which are our error bars on either side. Now we can also let's just do rewrite this one out. ggplot, we're going to use MPG again. We're going to use our aesthetic X, but this time we're going to just say that X is equal to class, and we're going to use geom bar, and we'll discuss here in a minute why we don't need a y-axis in this instance. So when we're using this, now we're looking more of our count. Okay, as we can see here, our y-axis is count, our x-axis is class, and again we have this the number of two-seaters, the number of compacts, our mid-size, our minivans, etc. Now notice again that this is in a our Now, looking at the geom bar, we can see that this is our two-seater, our compact, our mid-size, etc., and that our x-axis is actually going to be in alphabetical order. Later on, you can change the order based on however you want, but we'll talk about that later on. Finally, we can look at our ggplot, and we can take a continuous variable instead of a categorical variable, and we can change this to our highway. And with continuous variables, instead, we need a histogram. And again, this is assuming that it will just automatically grab 30 bins. And again, you can pick better values with the bin width, and when you can calculate them up on your own, and this will give us our histogram. Now, we can also add in multiple geometric objects, okay, to a plot. And so this can be everything from, this allows us to have much more complex graphs. Okay, so let's kind of go through this example here. Let me give us a little bit more space. And so we're going to stick with the same plot. MPG, our aesthetic mappings is going to be our displacement. Y is going to be our highway miles. And then we're going to add in geom point. And we're also going to add in a geom smooth layer to this so that we can see what's going on. And this is going to allow us to have two geoms on top of each other. And again, they can be very different types of styles if we want to. Now again, this is fantastic because it shows us our trend line as well as the actual plots themselves. It can show us potentially where we have a little bit of skew in our data and a little bit more of what's going on. Now we can also add in and control the colors themselves. So let's change this and let's go back to our geom point, and let's say that we want the color of our points to be blue, and then let's change our geom smooth and we want the color of our line to be red. And so here we see that we're changing both the colors here to blue, all right, for our points using the geom point color mapping, and then we're changing our trend line or our smooth line to red from inside the geom smooth function.